So, how do you tell a computer or a phone or a bank who you are, right? Now, in the past, what we've done is we've used a username and a password. We talked about that in the password section. But how do you tell them who you are? Well, you can also use something you are, like say a fingerprint, or the shape of your eye, or something about who you are. And this is being used. We're seeing this, for example, in some of the iPhones and some Android devices. You can now use fingerprint authentication. It's not 100% accurate, but it helps. The third way is something you have. So, for example, most of us have one of these cell phones, right? So we're able to use these things as something you have. Now, how does this work? In practice, almost all of my accounts are set up on at least two-factor authentication. That means not only do I need a username and a password, which is something I know, but I also need something I own, which is basically an authentication device, whether it's a little key or whether it's the phone I mentioned before. It's something I have. So even if, let's just say, someone in China or Belarus has figured out my username and password, they still have to be able to type in a code key. And the only thing that generates the code key is the thing I have, in this case, my phone or a little key device. And so that second factor of authentication means that they're not able to get into the system unless they both have something I know and something I own. And we can go a step further and add the third factor of authentication, which is something I am, and add fingerprint identification to that, for example. And so we'll be seeing that, and that's really how we're going to gain better access to these things and be able to preserve our access while not allowing the wrong people to have access to it, is by making it harder for them to get into the system. And multi-factor is something everybody should do. It's not that hard to set up. Usually any of the companies who provide multi-factor authentication will tell you how to do it. And we're talking Google and Evernote and Apple and all of the usual suspects all provide a form of multi-factor authentication. And usually it's a key off your phone. It could be, as I said, a device. But you want to do this. You don't want somebody hijacking your Facebook account and sending terrible things to your friends, or for example, blackmailing your friends, or getting information from your friends and telling them that you're in trouble and scaring them. Or, you don't want to be able to have all of your accounts hacked because somebody got into your email. So multi-factor authentication, which is really, again, something you are, something you know, something you own, is very important, and you should do it.